progress being made on the corpse cart. Actually, the hardest part was probably painting these wood sort of fingers. It took some time. I didn't want to get anything on the flesh of the corpses, and so it took my time doing that. Looks pretty good. Used dryad bark on all the wood. Obviously, it was hard to reach some places, and you can see some gaps where I just couldn't get any color. But anyway, it looks pretty good. And then I actually, on one of the recent videos from Warhammer TV, Duncan uses Athonian camo shade to give the wood a slightly different tint than just using Nuln Oil. So I actually used it, and it actually looks quite good. I don't know if it comes out on video, but it makes the wood look a little bit more organic as opposed to just with black with like Nuln Oil. I quite like it actually. I think it looks decent. So I put it all over, and we'll see how it comes out when it's dry, but so far it's looking pretty good. And then I'm just going to dry brush the wood, and then the wood is actually done. And then I got to go and pick out all the other small details. And then actually we'll be going along quite nicely. We'll be almost done. So this looks pretty good, and corpse cart is coming along nicely. Alright, so this morning I finished the corpse cart. Well, everything except the base. Just finishing touches, so highlighted up all the silver with Stormwell silver, and added some blood on the ends of these tips here and on the bones, blood in the abdomen there, and then finished up the bell with some bronze, and my fire, which, yeah, it doesn't look that good, and people have told me it's probably because the lines are a bit straight. It's not really like fires, more like radiating from the middle, and that's true, and too much red, maybe more orange. So not that happy with the fire, but you know, I think I'm too lazy to change it, to do it again. But yeah, fire's tricky, that's for sure. Good enough for me though. And then I put my dude on top there. I think I'm not going to glue him in. I'm going to leave him separate for now because this big whip, it's a little bit of a pain. So I think I'll leave him separate for now. But otherwise, I'm done painting the corpse cart. This base is going to be hard to do because I have to get it all in there. But I think I can do it with some sterling mud. And yeah, so that's it for the corpse cart. Just going to base it and it'll be finished. So, it's been a while since I managed a hobby. It's been really busy at home, and I was away for CanHammer team tournaments, so didn't get the hobby there. And then Easter's coming up, so I'm not sure I'm going to get much done in the next week. But just to let you know, some of the things I managed to do at CanHammer team tournament that involved hobbying. First of all, I've received my bases, 25mm bases for the rest of my Mantic zombies. So they're on now. And so they are actually ready to be washed and then dry brushed, and then they'll be done. So I'll probably do that next. Then I received more Gene Stealers from various people. So I've got plenty of Gene Stealers now. And I've got Gene Stealers, and I've got some from the box game Gene Stealers and Patriarchs and Acolytes in there as well, which I needed. I need 2 squads of Acolytes. So that's my whole army done basically. So I'm gonna keep rebasing Gene Stealers, and that'll be my next 40k project. And I got a hold of 2 Thunder Tusks, one there and one there. I need to reassemble that. And one there, and then I've got a whole bunch of goblins. And then I have Forge World. I have a bunch of Forge World stuff coming, so stay tuned. We'll go into that in a separate episode. So yeah, still got lots to do. I'm going to focus mainly on AOS for the next while. I just don't know what's happening with 40k in the next couple of months. I need a bit of a break from it after CanHammer Team Tournament. So I'm going to just go into AOS now and go from there. Alright, slight change of plan. I was making Gene Stealers, but I have a game next week against Phil in AOS, and I'm playing Death, and I want to bring zombies, so I need to paint these guys up. My plan for these guys was to be fairly quick, so they've been primed white, and I'm going to wash them all over with Reikland Flesh Shade, and then I'm going to dry them with Rakarth Flesh, and then I'm done. So very simple, very straightforward. It's 60 zombies. They're not a lot of time to be spent, and maybe I'll put some blood on them afterwards and then base them. So that's the plan for these guys. Let's get going. Alright, took me about 20 minutes to shade all these ghouls, and they look fine. So, there we go. The right glimpse shade on white is really quite good for sort of death. Look at this guy. I think these guys are going to look fine actually for very minimal work. So what I'm going to do is just let that dry, and then I'm going to Rakarth flesh them all over, and they'll be done. Maybe add some blood and then base. Brains. Brains. You like brains, Reggie? You like brains, Reggie? Oh, yeah. Reggie likes brains. Don't you, Reggie? Anyway, zombies are coming along nicely. So they were washed in Reichland this morning, and now they've been dry brushed all over with Rakarth flesh, so they look pretty good. That Reichland flesh shade is really quite good for drawing out the detail in these models. And then the Rakarth flesh just gives them that zombified tone to them, and made sure not to cover any of the details. So they look really good actually. Obviously, some of them are missing torsos. That's these mantic zombies are cool like that. And some of them are just, let me see. Some of them are just stumps on the floor. But anyway, so pretty cool. And so what I'm going to do is now give a very light dry brush of pallid witch flesh. And then do the bases, and these zombies will be done. Brains. Alright, zombies are based. Just waiting for all the mud to dry. It looks kind of cool. They're sort of trudging through the mud. Some of them are sort of stuck. And yeah, it's pretty cool. I had to build the mud up in order to hide the circular bases, like the small circle bases, so you can still see as the mud kind of settles and dries some places where the edge of the base still shows. I think actually once I dry brush that will add a little bit of definition to the bases actually. So actually I think I might leave that. We'll see what happens after it's all dried. But otherwise it looks pretty good. I'll touch up any extra bits that I need to when it's dry, and then of course I'll dry brush it all with Terminatus. But that looks pretty good. So once that's done, all I have to do is put some blood here and there, and these guys are done. And they're looking pretty cool. Yeah, they're looking pretty cool. Look at this guy. Bread. Alright. Alright, 60 zombies are done. Just had to wait for the bases to dry and dry brush them. Look fine. Look pretty cool actually. So if you're looking for lots of zombies and you don't like the GW ones, then go for the Mantic ones. They're pretty good. They certainly do the job. The only pain is you have to put the circle on top of the base, but that's not a big deal. As long as you use some of this texture stuff, you can hide it fairly easily. And that's that. So these guys are done. So what that does now is it gives me the option of running zombies with my death army, or running ghouls, either as ghouls or in a ghoul patrol. So that gives me a lot of flexibility. And with the zombies, you usually want to run a corpse cart because that gives them +1 to hit, and you run it with a necromancer that gives them the extra pile in and attack every turn. So that's fairly hardcore. So 30 zombies with a corpse cart next to them, hit on 2s and wound on 3s. So, and they have 1 attack each. So that's a lot of attacks from basically like 100-point units. So it's pretty awesome. and then you take 3, and then that's your battle line, and then they all combine into 1 unit of 30. So that's the other advantage of zombies over ghouls. You don't have to buy so many, and it takes care of your battle line. So that is fairly competitive. Then that leaves you a full 1700 points. It's probably the cheapest battle line, and it leaves you that many more points to spend on the rest of your army. So there we go. They're finished. Yeah, so next we're gonna move on in the next work in progress to a special Forge World edition. There's a bunch of stuff in those boxes over there that I'm gonna be unboxing for you guys, and yeah, that'll be the next work in progress.